back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt in Studio West, joined by Danielle Pletka, fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, a.k.a. Danny Pletka. She is the co-host of What the Hell is Going On with our friend Mark Thiessen. And I am told that What the Hell Going On is now a Substack, Danny. Is that correct?
It is. Thank you. Yes.
Tell us, the one thing about Substack, I'm always confused about the URL. What is it for your Substack?
It is whatthehellisgoingon.substack.com.
Okay, I can remember that because I've liked and followed What the Hell is Going On that you and Mark. I want to talk about Iran with you, Danny, but first I want to play for you. It's a minute and a half. Secretary Rubio with Barry Weiss. All right, we don't have it. It wouldn't load. I'll tell you, he basically said the president would rather have peace with Iran. They can have a peaceful nuclear program, but we're going to change direction here. How do you read all the various signals coming out of Team Trump about Iran?
I'm really nervous, I confess to you. I think that the Trump team on Iran has delivered so many different messages that they have signaled to the Iranians that they are going to be as weak, if not weaker, than the Obama administration was. They've got Steve Witkoff doing Russia, they've got Steve Witkoff doing Gaza, and they've got Steve Witkoff doing Iran. He's not expert in any of those things, and no human being can do all of that. And I thought Rubio made things worse when he suggested we were open to a peaceful nuclear program with Iran.
Why that? Because the peaceful nuclear program, such as the UAE has, is one that doesn't have enrichment. You get your enriched uranium from elsewhere. You get it from us.
You are right, but there have been suggestions that we would allow them to have enrichment. There's been waffling and a lot of mixed signals from the administration about that question of enrichment. And when you see what the Iranians are saying on the other side, which is this could really revitalize the American nuclear industry. There could be potential for trillions of dollars of investment in Iran to build peaceful nuclear plants. Let us recall that Iran is one of the largest producers of oil and gas in the world. They do not need a peaceful nuclear program. It is a front for their weapons program.
Well, you and I know that, but I also believe I want to believe, so I believe, that the president and the secretary of state are painting a corner into which Iran has already stepped and from which they cannot emerge. We've got the audio. Let's listen to Marco Rubio and Barry Weiss talking about this. Play it, Adam, please.
Now, the previous deal was bad for a number of reasons. It gave Iran immediate and full sanctions relief in exchange for enrichment capabilities that at any point could be weaponized in the future. They got to keep that permanently. They got to keep the sanctions relief permanently, and they only had to live by the enrichment limitations for a defined period of time. In fact, right now we are entering that period of time in which the requirements of that deal would have expired. So it was a bad deal all the way around. We gave them permanent concessions for temporary concessions on their part. So now we've reached that point. Let me make a second point, and that is the worst thing we do not want a war. We do not want to see war. This is not a president that campaigned on starting wars. And as he said very clearly, Iran is not going to have a nuclear weapon, and he reserves every right to prevent that from happening, but he would prefer it not happen. He would prefer that there not be need to resort to military force either by us or anybody else. He would prefer that it be something that we can negotiate. The Iranians have shown a willingness to talk. We're going to talk to them. If there is a chance at peace, we're going to give peace and a peaceful resolution to this challenge, every opportunity to succeed. Our priorities remain the same. If Iran wants a civil nuclear program, they can have one just like many other countries in the world have one, and that is they import enriched material. Now, we're not going to negotiate this in the press. We're not going to negotiate this publicly because it undermines negotiations. But there's a pathway to a civil, peaceful nuclear program if they want one. But if they insist on enriching, then they will be the only country in the world that doesn't have a weapons program, quote unquote, but is enriching. And so I think that's problematic. But again, let's give peace every chance here to succeed.
So, Danny,
the president
that's not peace in our time, Munich. That's a very clear line, right? And I want to believe that Trump and Rubio are very clear there. You're skeptical still.
I am skeptical. Look, you are, only as good as your negotiator on this, and the problem is that the negotiator that we have doesn't know very much about the history, doesn't know very much about the Iranians, doesn't know very much about the situation or how they've used their program to conceal their weapons activities. And I never thought I would see the day when "Give peace a chance" is the motto of the Trump administration. The reality is that what the Iranians respond to is a hard line. It is, you do this or else. And that is not what the Iranians are hearing. This is why, for example, Hugh, the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is the most hardline element of the Iranian military, they got on board with the nuclear negotiations this week, and it's because they think, they think happy days are here again.
Danny, I understand the skepticism, especially about rookies to Iran negotiations, because as Dr. Orrin likes to say whenever he's on next hour, the Iranians are the world's greatest negotiators, and they've pulled the wool over president after president after president's eyes, and we've all been deceived. I don't think you can do that with Trump because of the Soleimani example, because they spent the last 5 years trying to kill him. Do you really think he's going to be fooled?
I would love to believe you're right. I would love to think that that the man who made the order for the strike on Qasem Soleimani is still the same guy in the White House today. I'm nervous because I think that there are a lot of people who are whispering in the president's ear, suggesting that we need a rapprochement with the Iranians. When I see Tucker Carlson tweeting about how Iran has never done anything bad to us, and I don't understand why, it's the neocon warmongers who are trying to get us to go to war with Iran. The answer is that the Iranians respond to strength and to power. They don't respond to clever negotiating. And my concern is that they have a mark in the negotiator. I know you said that you recognize that problem, but they have a mark in the negotiator, and they have someone who is, let's say, willing to do business with them in ways that he
Let me
wasn't
get
in
one
his-
more question in, Danny, for we're out of time. Donald Trump yesterday said he's 100% with Bibi Netanyahu. 100% on every issue. Reassuring?
Yeah, it would be reassuring, except for the fact that when the two of them were standing there, the president basically surprised Benjamin Netanyahu because they hadn't coordinated previously and hadn't told them that they were meeting with the Iranians at all. That doesn't sound to me like an administration that is 100% with Bibi. And again, I'm more comfortable when you say I'm 100% with Israel than when you say I'm 100% with a political figure. But I think the evidence suggests that they're not 100% together. The evidence suggests that they are going to do this without the Israelis. And the fact that Oman has brought in the Russians to these negotiations makes me even more nervous, especially when we see Steve Witkoff heading back to Moscow again this week.
So the bottom line is, I think, 6 months from now, either you or I will be right in our lean-in, right? 6 months, and we'll know within 6 months, right?
That's
we will.
true. I think so, yeah. We will.
That's the good
snapback.
news is one of us is going to be right, and the other one of us will praise that person
I want you
or
to be
not,
right.
depending on what happened. Danielle Pletka, who is the co-host of What the Hell is Going On podcast and What the Hell is Going On.substack.com. Thank you. I'll be right back, America. Stay tuned.